welcome to the live stream. Hopefully we got this all working and I am not too backlit. It is 6 a.m. here in Japan. I'm in Yokohama. And this is, I believe, the Yokohama Bay. It might be like an inlet of the bay. I'm not entirely sure on the geography there. But welcome. Glad to see you all. Oh no. Is it not displaying live?
I have to reconnect the camera. Switch to
The other camera?
your iPad camera for a second.
Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Hello. We're still working out some technical difficulties here.
I'm just going to show your iPad pictures for a second.
Well, here we go. Welcome. Am I back on now? I'm on. Good to see you all. Great. We had some fun technical issues. I see a lot of people saying we see the window, but hopefully you can see me now and not just my iPad. You can hear me. Now you've got me. Okay, great. Welcome. We're running this out of a hotel room in case that isn't obvious enough. Aaron's got like a full live stream deck behind the camera here. We're going to do my live stream and then switch over to Aaron's, which is kind of the reverse of... Is that the reverse? Yeah, the reverse of the normal order. Normally Aaron goes earlier than me. But yes, welcome. It's bright and early here. I am in the future because we are in Japan. So it is Monday morning rather than Sunday afternoon, which is very different vibes, I feel like, for a lot of people. But we've been in Japan for a week now, and the kind of did a things that exist in several different interest categories to folks who tune into the live stream. So I thought it would be fun to talk about some of the activities. So we went on a photo walk around Shinjuku that had a cyberpunk theme, which was pretty fun. I've never been on one of these like tours where it's just like the whole purpose of the tour is to go take photos, but I think I'm going to do it again as a tourist activity because what was neat is that our guide, you know, I don't know if like this is true of all of these, but our guide like knew the spots with the good lighting and like interesting subjects. And so you kind of eliminate some of that wandering that you do just looking for like a good shot and good lighting. And then I joined a new planner cult, a new stationery cult, because absolutely, who doesn't need another expensive hobby? And got myself a traveler's notebook from the Traveler's Factory Station, which is inside Tokyo Station. You know, the combination of a planner where you can collect stamps and trains was really just too much for me. And then we also went to the, in Saitama, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, which is just northwest of Tokyo Central. We went to the train museum, which was massive. And then we also did Team Lab Planets, which I believe in Singapore, we went to a smaller exhibit. We had no idea how massive this Team Lab Planets was going to be, which is sort of like an experimental art situation. Yeah. How are people doing? How are you doing in your part of the world? Maybe you've had a little less of an exciting week. I do not have donuts live, mostly because it was a little challenging. We're in Yokohama now. It doesn't have as much as central Tokyo does as far as donut shops. And I would have had to probably get a donut a couple days ago and then have it be stale. But instead, I took pictures of the 2 vegan donuts I've had thus far in Tokyo and will do them because, you know, we always have to have a vegan donut. So... yeah, how are folks doing? I don't see much going on in the chat, so hopefully everybody is alive and well, or you're just listening to me in the background. Yeah, let me show you some of the photos from the photo walk, I think. First, we can also do a stationery haul if people are interested. Um, because I've bought a lot of stationery and I don't think I'm done. I've gotten a lot of train and cat themed stationery, not a lot in the donut realm. Okay, let's show off some of the photos. I think I need my trusty, okay, am I switched? All right, so this was Shinjuku at night. And when we were thinking about this, like, club, I should probably get that off the screen just so that I don't get demonetized. But we were like, how long ago was that picture taken? I'm going to bet that the person that was the model for that was like early 80s. How old is she now? This one we spent forever trying to get the right kind of people, like the right formation of people to walk past so that we could take this photo. And then eventually we gave up and just had me jump in front of it. This photo is actually just about the trench coat. I will say Tokyo, like, has a serious trench coat game happening. It's been pouring rain the past couple days, so now the trench coats make sense. But the first day we arrived, there was no threat of rain. First 2 days we arrived, there was no threat of rain. It was beautiful outside, and yet there were fabulous trench coats everywhere. Like, everybody has these trench coats and these long pleated skirts as well. And I have just been sort of taking pictures of trench coats because I really want to buy one. I have already done a little bit of clothes shopping. And I gotta say, what is fabulous about clothes shopping in Japan is that even at the like stores, the fast fashion stores or whatever that we have in the US, the Japanese sizing is appropriate for me. Like, I got this jumpsuit and the length of the pants is fine, straight out of the gate, no hemming needed. Yeah, it's really a delight every time I shop in Asia. I am much closer to average height here as opposed to anywhere in the West. This was another Shinjuku. This person seemed perfectly fine to have me take photos of them. Actually, what was really cool about the photo walk for me is I get really scared doing street photography, about like offending people or whatever. And our guide was just very brazen and was just sort of like, go for it. The worst they can say is no photo. It was useful. As long as you're not being like overly rude, I do feel like increasing my confidence at being able to take street shots was really good because we did it like our first day we were here and it's been helpful. There's just some crazy wiring in Shinjuku because there's just so many lights. All right. Tugboat says, are so many signs in English? This area that we were in is a very like touristic area. So there were more signs in English. There are a lot of places where there's almost no English signs at all. Quite often though, like the name of the business will be in Romanji, like it'll be the Japanese word, but spelled in Arabic characters, and then, Arabic characters, or Roman characters, and then there will be no other English signage. I did like a month of Pimsleur before I arrived, and I would not describe my English as fantastic, or my Japanese as fantastic, but we have been able to stumble our way through between like a combination of Google Translate, a lot of gesturing, and some very basic Japanese phrases, and then like a lot of Japanese folks take English in school, and so they'll have some English. And then at the tourist areas, like, I had to call yesterday to our reception, and the I, anytime you use a phone in a country where you don't speak the language is a little scary. I called down to reception. We're in a really big hotel, like like on the bay. So I guess I'm on the small camera, but like we're in a very much like tourist oriented area here. And when I called down, she answered in Japanese, and I said like "Ego go wakarimasu ka," which is like my very bad pronunciation of "Do you understand English?" And then she immediately switched into like perfect English. Okay, back to activities while we go through. Rachel says these pictures are great. Thank you. All right. So we went to this thing called Team Lab Planets, which has locations in a bunch of places. It was downpouring rain when we arrived. So it was like essentially almost an hour of standing in the rain, waiting in line. So it was just this huge, huge line stretching on inside and outside in this torrential downpours. And you'd have to go like in and out of tents. So you would have your umbrella and then you like put it away again when you were in the tent. But inside was this like cool experimental art festival situation. And each room was kind of themed to a different thing. This was so much bigger than the one that we went to in Singapore, which was like a temporary one. This was the size of an airplane hangar inside, and each room was different. So they warned you that they had free shorts that you could borrow if you were wearing a skirt, because there were mirrors on the floor everywhere and you could like see up that. And and then they also warned you that you would have to take like off your socks and shoes and you put them in a locker because there was a bunch of like water that at some point was like up to your knees. So this room was like I don't know, egg situation. This room was, unfortunately, it was crowded enough there that it was really hard to capture, but it had a mirrored floor and mirrored walls. And then it had these flowers that rose and lowered from the ceiling. It was very cool. Unfortunately, hard to get a capture of. This was a room that we saw in Singapore, but it was way bigger here than it was in Singapore. And it's these LED crystals that hang from the ceiling and like form mazes between all, like that you could walk through, and mirrored floor once again. Really glad I read that online ahead of time and wore a skirt. Wore shorts under my skirt because lots of mirrored floor. I tried not to include very much feet pictures in this slideshow because I didn't want to put them on the internet. But this room was really interesting. Okay, this room I didn't like, but I think Erin really liked. It was pretty, but I was just stressed the whole time about like the water that we were waiting in. So it was like this milky water with light reflections all over it. And like they had projected like koi and like stars onto this milky water situation. And at some points it was like knee high. There was another water thing that I didn't get a picture of because it wasn't really possible to like film while you were doing it, but it was a surface that you walked up like a super steep incline, and there was rushing water down it. So we were like walking up this super steep incline. It was kind of like walking up a reverse slide, like it was that steep. Then there was this room with like these giant balls, these glowing balls. Oh, there we go. That's the end of the Team Lab Planets. And they would like change color, and you could like hit and bounce on them. There was a couple other rooms that I didn't get great pictures of. One of them was like you laid on the floor and there was like, it was a mirrored floor again. And there was like these trippy, like above, like projections on the ceilings. It was super cool. It was absolutely worth doing. It was even worth, I would say, standing in line in the pouring rain. We had an entry time slot. And so this is where things get complicated. I have been on a quest to try lots of vegan ramen. Erin has gotten kind of into vegan, making vegan ramen at home. So we're trying to try it. And at this place that we were at, there was a pop-up that was based on a Kyoto Michelin listed, not starred, but Michelin listed ramen place. And it was vegan ramen and donuts. They also had donuts, but in this barrierless room. And it was so absolutely gross outside that no one wanted to eat the ramen outside. So you could stand and eat the ramen outside. They had this like cool bench where it was like, it's really hard to describe it. I don't think I got any pictures of it, but essentially it was a bench that like continuously flowed, but there was no cover to eat outside. And eating soup like while it's pouring rain, it's just not super easy to do, especially ramen, which you kind of need multiple hands for. But you could wait to get into this room that only seated like 12 people, and they called it a barrierless room. It's essentially an infinity room where all of the surfaces were mirrors, and then they projected this like cool, like changing thing onto all of the walls. And then we got this ramen served in this room. The ramen was good. The ramen was good. There were two types of vegan ramen. Aaron got the soy sauce one, which is not actually what he'd ordered, but we'll move on from that. And then I got the miso one. Presentation wise, 15 out of 10, even though we did have to wait like over an hour and a half, which meant that we got in our line at the end of our half an hour waiting window. It's all fine. It was, we were all in it together. So that one was very good. I'm pro that ramen. The other ramens that we had, I'll run through the other ramens. This was the best one. At the time, I rated it 8.5 out of 10. I've now upgraded it. Now having had other ramens, I've upgraded this. This one was really good. And this is at a ramen place in Harajuku that's been around since the 1980s. But they had offered a vegan ramen in like a traditional ramen restaurant for a bunch of years. And then it became so popular since the last time I was here that they opened above it a vegan bistro. So like there's a traditional ramen restaurant downtown, and then there's like a entirely vegan shop above it. And it was fantastic. I think Aaron also really loved the one that he had there. Oh, this is a picture of waiting. This is a video of waiting in the rain for the ramen, and how gross it was. Then this one, the presentation is not their fault. It was so pouring rain that we were like exhausted that we decided we wanted to get some delivery. We're in like a really big convention center hotel right now in Yokohama. And Yokohama, I did not realize this, but it's kind of like Singapore-esque, at least in this area that we're in, the Sakura Gaiko area. I think it's called Mirai. I may have pronounced that extremely wrong. But this area is like kind of Vegas or Singapore-like, where it's all of these shopping malls interconnected. And the shopping malls are like big and beautiful and have like either some of them are upscale and some of them are kind of more standard malls. But they're like all connected by pedestrian walkways. So you can like not go outside on these pedestrian walkways. But that does mean to get anywhere, you have to walk like quite far in a mall. And we were just done with it. So we got this delivered from this vegan ramen place. It had woodier mushrooms in it. It was really good. Minato Marai, thank you. I have friends who live right across from the convention center there. Aaron got this vegan white sesame tantan ramen. It did come in like a cool ramen packaging situation, which we haven't seen in the States, where the noodles were like in a separate bowl that clicked into the broth bowl so that you could like combine it when it arrived. But don't blame the presentation on them. And then yesterday we had teas tantan. Again. Okay. There we go. Donut time, right? Donut time and then stationery haul. Is that how we feel? We don't have the donut theme loaded in, unfortunately. But this donut it's a beet sugar vegan donut. And this came from that same window where that ramen came at the Weird Experimental Art Festival. This donut was a roasted green tea and sansho pepper. I had it both warm and cold. It was fantastic, so good. Oh yeah, you can kind of see that barrierless seating now, and they served it like on a little rice thing. Presentation-wise, not sure it was beautiful, but I may be influenced by the fact that it was torrentially raining when we were there. But like, it was very delicious. The sansho pepper had just like a hint with the green tea. It worked really well together. This is not a donut, but optional inclusion. These cream sandwiches filled with fruit are like a pretty traditional Japanese, like, either you get it at like a convenience store or you would buy it at like a festival or something. But in Asakusa, which is where one of the big temples is, so there's tons of people out. There were a lot of people. It's spring break here and graduation season, and because of that, were a lot of Japanese people out in kimono, like taking photos, like graduation photos and stuff like that. And there was a lot of people out in Asakusa, and we got this sandwich, and it was, I thought, delicious. It was amazing, but it was very cool to be able to get it as a vegan one. And then this is the other donut that we had. It was in this little, it was very hard to get a good picture of this, but this is a little tiny shop in Asakusa as well that was all vegan, kind of more health focused. Also not a very pretty picture of it, but this was a spiced apple one. It was a lot more like healthy tasting of a donut, but it was healthy tasting on the inside, but it was extremely greasy on the outside. I think my rating for this one was like 3 out of 5, maybe, but I did eat it like under cherry blossoms, so I think it got some extra bonus points for that. Aaron, I need you to touch ID this again. So I think that's the donut review. And oh, this was a bike parking in Asakusa and the cherry blossoms while we were running around. My chat keeps locking me out. That's, oh, okay. Mimi says, hi, folks. This is so fun. Glad to catch the Stationery show. Okay. Here are some just random photos before we go to the Stationery store situation. Oh, yeah, here's the security robot. This is the robots I was promised. Now I don't know what. Every time I play a photo. Okay, this is the train museum. It was very cool. It was massive. It was very hard to accurately capture just how big the train museum was. Some of these. They had the original steam engine that came from the UK in the 1860s to Japan. I mean, it was very cool. All right, Stationery time. I believe it is. I do have to switch my inputs here, so let me do that. We've leveled up, y'all. We've got like a full camera here. Fuzzbubble says, is this the new pastel leather jacket you were talking about a few weeks ago? It is not leather or even fake leather. It is neoprene. Yes, I did end up getting it. I got it secondhand on Mercari, I believe. Maybe Depop. And I got it for, I don't know, like $30. I got sent an offer and I decided to go for it. And it's funny because I had essentially one of those last time I was in Japan, but it does work. Although, clearly I need a fancy trench coat is what I need. All right, I'm gonna, as soon as I get the go-ahead that I'm projecting this, I'm gonna see that. All right, Okay, so this is the most exciting one, I think. This is the Traveler's Notebook. And I had talked about how maybe I was considering getting this. People are this is like a cult following. I've got to say their branding is on point, but I decided to get one. I'd been kind of back and forth about whether I'm going to get one, but they have a special Travelers factory just in Tokyo Station. Eric says, I love that distressed cover. Well, it's real leather, so it didn't mean it's already getting distressed, but I like the distressed look. So some of the other things I got, I'm wondering if I can like set this up somehow. No, that's not going to work. Nope. Never mind. Sorry, y'all, for taking you all in an adventure. Wish I had my pop socket still. Okay. So I got this extremely adorable little thing from Traveler's Factory, which is good for someone who's like me, who's not like a serious coloring artist, but look how tiny it is. It's like the size of like a credit card, thick credit card, maybe like 5 credit cards stacked on each other. But it has a sharpener, a pencil sharpener, an eraser, and then all of these little tiny ones in it, and it just slides into this little case. Wow, I really can't do this very well one-handed. Turns out holding this is not the easiest, but I think we might have a solution. Okay, so then that goes in the zippered pouch. So I'm pretty excited about that. It's good for traveling. I got this. There's so much more stationery, you all. So this is the special edition notebook, nice and train themed. This is like a stencil built into a clip bookmark. And so you can use it to draw little icons. I also got a cat one. Now, these are from all different places, by the way, so I haven't figured out the front page. So you can, at all of the Travelers factories, you can get like special stamps. And this stamp was so good. Got more stamps. These also came from the Travelers Station. Oh yeah, this stamp came. I didn't do a very good job of this stamp, so I covered it up with something. Oh, I also got this washi tape, which we'll go into in a bit. Nothing there yet. Okay, this is Harajuku stuff. This is me trying to figure out how to fit this entire map in here. I think I did okay. Okay, then next in this, I kind of went a little wild, as I did last time I went to a railway museum in Japan, and I got a bunch of specific washi tapes. So you can see what they all look like. This one is meant to look like the tickets that you get printed out. I think it's kind of the same like security pattern, right? This one has all different forms of the rapid transit trains, then the little station signs. This was only available in Japan. Most of these are only available in Japan. These are little characters from Kikuyu and the trains, and then more that is like the station signs. A lot of the stations here in Japan will have a little stamp station where you can stamp your notebooks. Oh, this was a very complicated situation. We had to like use this machine, which I've beautifully drawn here, to get our tickets to the transit station. It was very complicated, but yeah. Oh yeah, and here is one of our memorial pictures that we got from the Transit Museum. Okay, I think for now, that is the only things in the traveler's notebook. But yeah, I'm really excited about this. It also came with like a little pouch and everything. Now, on to more stationery, because let me tell you, there's a lot of it. A lot of train-themed stationery. This little pouch that is meant to look like the Shinkansen. Oh God, I can't zip it with one hand. Y'all. I can't switch either because I'm not in control of the switcher. Switch back to me. Okay. Yeah, do you have a solution now? Great. We're gonna get a better solution so you don't get seasick while I'm doing this. I've got to disconnect, I think, from the AirPlay. This is like trying to eat ramen one-handed. I know. Well, also it was a little easier when I had a pop socket, but I lost my pop socket the other day. Okay. Here we go. This is a better view, I think. What do you think, y'all? Okay. Switch back to this camera. Great. So this is a little, you could get these for all of the different Shinkansen, but what I cannot believe about it is that the inside looks like the inside of the train seats. And yes, I do have all of my washi tape stored in here. I have this one, which is all of the little trains, and I swatched almost all of these. This is like little tickets from the Traveler's Factory. And then some of these were Daiso. But look at that pouch. For the train nerd in me, this is a delight. I had to resist buying all of them. Aaron got one with with the local trains as opposed to the Shinkansen on it. Oh, we're gonna be able to show it off. This is the local train, and it's got like the little strap hangers on it and everything. It's very cute. All right. Next up, this is not exactly stationary, but now that I've got the traveler's pouch, I've been on the hunt, traveler's notebook. I've been on a hunt for a pouch and this one looks like the little Shinkansen. There were no end of tiny children at the train museum yesterday because it was like a Sunday. It's the school holidays, and it was very rainy, and a lot of the stuff was marketed at children. Okay, this is the thing that is absolutely not marketed at children that I decided to splurge on. This is my big stationery splurge other than the Traveler's Notebook, which is Lamy Safari, which is one of my fountain pens that I use, did a special edition Shinkansen that looks like the train. So look how good this is. It matches. So this fountain pen, I am not going to install the ink yet for it because I don't want to fly with it in there. Even though I did fly with a fountain pen, but I took my cartridges out. You can also, one of the cool things in Japan, which I'm still considering buying before I go back, is that they let you buy really small versions of fountain pen inks, so you can kind of get samples much more easily, and they'll come in like tiny little containers a lot of the time. All right, another tiny bag. This one, I got some, this is from the, essentially the 100 yen shop. I got some like tape that is also pearls for decorating things. And then I got this cat themed sticky note dispenser that you can like clip onto things, and then it has cat sticky notes. I did go a little mad at the 100 yen shop. You can never have enough tiny bags is really the philosophy that I went. Okay, pen haul here. Not all of these pens came from Japan. So I got a bunch of these pens, the Uni Pen pen. I have not been able to find them in the States. This is my normal Lamy Safari. This one I brought from the States. This is a glue stick, which it's a nice sleek glue stick. These are tiny scissors, which have been very helpful. I got some mild liners in some special edition colors. This one came from the US. Okay, now there's 4 of these, which is a little excessive. The microns came from the US. These are some very interesting ones. This is a twin ink pen. So it'll write 2 colors at once. Can you see that? Yeah. So all of these are different, like, twin ink colors. I've seen these, like, online, but I hadn't seen them in person. I ended up deciding to get all of them. For people that are decorating challenged like me, being able to have this. They also, on the other side, have a highlighter that lines underneath it in the dual color. Very cool. This is something very unique. Erin got one of these and I got one of these because we were just like, wow, this is so unusual. It's a regular pen on one side, but then on the other side, it makes little dotted lines for you. You can't really do it on a curve though, as you can see, but it's like a roller for making dotted lines. So I also got this one. Mimi says, I tried to bring back pen scissors like that from Taiwan and airport security said nope. Interesting. We are gonna have to check a bag because we bought so much stuff on the way back. So Erin is going to check it. So I'll probably check the pen scissors just so that they'll be safe. Y'all, we're not anywhere close to done, in case you were wondering. I do need to wrap up in time for Aaron's to do his live stream at 7, so... Okay, so I got this whole pouch at Daiso to carry all my stationery, and there is so much of it. We don't necessarily have to go through all of it today, but more will probably be acquired before I come back. All right, so I've got this cute cat stationery. Oh, these are cat clips that I can use for my ID badge at work. These were little fuzzy cat stamps with tiny little mini letters. Oh, I had to get this. It's money and cat themed. It's a card holder and it's like the cat, the fat cat with the wine. It's really so much. This kind of surreal looking train, religious cat themed stationery. More shiny train stickers. Who doesn't need some shiny train stickers? This was cherry blossom and bicycles. Very pretty little stationery set. This is also from Daiso. These are all themed to the different lines, different train lines. You can, because it's cherry blossom season, you can get so many beautiful Sakura themed. And this is from Midori, so it has very good paper for fountain pens. I love the Midori paper. It's also the paper used in the traveler's notebooks. So I got these little ones here. It never ends, you all. Okay. I got this little train charm, which I'm planning to use on my traveler's notebook as soon as I figure it out. Flat clips. These are little like flat paper clips that look like cats. More cute mini cat sets. This is a message pad, and each of them is this beautiful different art themed around the trains. My favorite is definitely the Cherry Blossom Bullet Train 1 for the Series E2. Do I have a problem? Yes. But, you know, you all saw me budget. You saw I budgeted for this. These little hedgehog clips. Little tiny envelopes for like giving gift cards and stuff that are shaped like Shinkansen. I got this special badge that you can, I believe you can only get special edition in Japan. I'm not totally sure, but it's from the Traveler's Notebook. It's like a keychain that looks like a thing. This one is the Suica Penguin that as a train timer in the station. Suica is what you use to like get onto, it's one of the IC cards that you use to like pay for at the Kombini, but also use to pay to get on the train. And there is a lot of Suica Penguin themed stuff. It never ends, y'all. Just keeps going. This is another very cute little Shinkansen animal themed item. Oh, this is more washi tape. I didn't even, this one snuck in, also from the dollar store. It's this like marbled situation. We're getting close to the end-ish. These cat stamps, which were really tricky for me to get, but they come in like to be able to use, but you just have to have a very light touch. This came from the States. I brought it with me. This is a cat-themed waffle breakfast set. Don't ask any questions. Moving along. Here is another one of the, oh, this is not the clip ruler I thought it was. Nothing in that bag. Is this fun for you all? This consumerism haul? I hope so. These are some like flake stickers. Oh, these are more items to go with your cat-themed waffles. Some flake stickers. These were some sort of travel cat deco stickers. These are letterpress stickers from the Traveler Station that are travel themed. I'm gonna hold on to those for a while. These are like sheer pet stickers that are like kind of city night themed. These are little like inky stamp stickers. These don't look interesting from the back, but look, they're little cat wire clips. Retail therapy. Yeah, I don't even know if I had anything I was therapizing, but you know, it's fine. I'm not very good at like spending money efficiently, and when you're on a trip, you have to be like, oh, I have to get this or I might not be able to get it again, which has been a little stressful for me. All right, I think we're almost done. These are, Erin's got these schedule stickers. I got these a couple years ago, little tiny flags. And then this is another one of those clip bookmarks, but it's cat stencils, which I just thought was so cute. Very adorable. I think we have finally reached the end of all of the stationery, y'all. I think we finally reached it. So I think Erin can switch the camera back now. Well, thank you all for joining on this fun adventure as we went through all the consumerism. Does anybody have any questions, or is there anything I can show you before we wrap up? I mean, it's really a lot. I'm storing all of the stationery in a pile under here, and I'm really gonna have to clean it up before Erin's comes. Eric says, peak stationery achieved. Mimi says, I love all the Travelers Company goodies. They really have their branding down pat. I am hoping to go to the Travelers Station, or the Travelers Factory. So I went to the station one that's in Tokyo Station, and that one's all train themed. Unfortunately, there is one that just reopened at Narita Airport, and I flew into Narita, but I'm flying out of Haneda. And Narita's like quite far out of the city. And they have a Travelers Factory airport where they have like the plane themed items, but unfortunately it isn't open on Mondays, and I flew in on a Monday. The Travelers Factory, which is like their main headquarters, has all sorts of like cool things, and I will hopefully be visiting that this week. So, yeah, I think probably the things I'm most stoked on, I'm pretty excited about my Traveler's Notebook and like joining the cult of the Traveler's Notebook. And I'm really excited about this little Shinkansen little bag. But I'm also excited about my Lamy Safari fountain pen, but since I haven't gotten to use it yet, I may be a little less excited about it than I will be once I'm there. It was pretty pricey. Like the normal Lamy Safaris are around 20 to 30 USD usually. They're pretty affordable fountain pens. They're like a beginner fountain pen for a lot of people. And this one was 5,500 yen, so about 45 US dollars right now with the exchange rate. And that's pricey for a pen, but we went to Itoya Ginza and we saw how much you can spend on fountain pens, tens of thousands of dollars on certain fountain pens. So I felt like for my particular proclivity. Also, I looked online and it is not easy to get this special edition fountain pen. I don't think it's sold in a ton of places, and I decided it was a splurge. Koala says, Aaron, how are you going to compete with this? Aaron has gotten a lot of stationery too, so if his audience wants to do a stationery haul, I don't think that Aaron's typical viewer will have as much interest in stationery as my typical viewer, but, you know, if you do, just request it, because I only showed one of Aaron's many stationery items that he's gotten, but it hasn't been quite as big. Kelly says, I want that Hayabusa Lamy pin. I know, it's very cool, isn't it? More stationery, please. Well, I will see. I'll probably get that. Eric says, Ginza, oh yeah, just like purchases for your house, you can spend as much as you have on any single thing. I will say the interior design of that absolutely massive train museum, they had, I don't think I'd have to change what I'm projecting, but they had a floor that all of the tiles looked like a train station timetable, and I was like, can we do this on our floor? It was very cool. Tokyo Station's Traveler's Notebook cover is the best. I think it's really cool. There's one in Kyoto that's like a special edition one that has like rain and a mountain and stuff like that. And that one seemed really good, but I'm pretty stoked about this. You know, I am vegan and I don't usually buy leather new. I do buy leather used. I don't have any opposition to that. But I decided if I was going to get a Traveler's Notebook cover, I wanted new, then I wanted to get a special edition leather. The one that I had was like a Michaels, like $8 cover that was fake, and the leather I think will wear really well. I'm gonna try not to get drawn too deep into the Traveler's Notebook world, just because it can get very expensive. Like I follow some lovely people on here that get like every special edition Traveler's Notebook ever, and I cannot imagine spending that much money. My one stationery regret that I didn't purchase yet, and I'm still trying to decide if I should go out and try to get it, is it was like one of the first things I saw. So I was like, oh, they'll probably have it at a lot of stores, but now I haven't seen it anywhere else. Sailor Ink, which is one of the fanciest inks that a lot of people really love. Sailor Ink has a like intro set that had a fountain pen, a Sailor exclusive fountain pen with a bunch of little tiny samples of their inks. And it was all packaged up. I think it was for back to school. I saw it at the Shibuya Loft and I haven't seen it since. And a lot of these stationery items you see over and over again at the stores, they're like common brands. And this one I haven't seen anywhere, and now I just keep thinking about it and regretting it. But since I already splurged on the Lamy Safari, like Shinkansen fountain pen, maybe I shouldn't get a second fountain pen. I usually use cartridges, not inks, but I've been kind of interested in towing the line of inks. And if we're going to check a bag anyway, I can check the inks. Although, if they're sealed, they can go in the under compartment of a plane, right? Does anybody know? Well, thank you all for letting me engage in some consumerism. That's been most of my trip here in Japan, has just been Lily buying things. So thanks for enjoying this. We're here for like another 5-ish days. Erin's here for work, so I'm going to be set loose on my own. We will see how much I spend. I have not gone over budget in any of my categories because I was so generous with my budgeting. So hopefully I'll be fine. Now I'm very dark, aren't I? The outside has gotten quite bright. So is there anything that I should absolutely get, you all, while I'm here? Anybody back in Portland that needs me to pick something up for them, let me know. Lily buying things, that's your best life. I mean, I think I'm going to really slow down a lot of consumerism once I get back to the States, but this is probably my last like long vacation for a while because I've started a job that doesn't have a ton of PTO. So, and it's Japan. I'm not planning on coming back anytime soon. So I'm getting all of this country is very dangerous. It has cute clothes that fit me. It has stationery. It has lots of train themed items. What do you expect me to do? Lisa says, did you get a haircut yet? I actually got a haircut back in the States because since it's spring break this week and it was a public holiday, the first day we were here, I could not easily find an appointment, and I decided to just get it in the States before I left. So, but I will maybe get head spa while I'm here. Those are all special souvenirs. You got a lot of cool things. Have a fabulous trip. All right. Thank you all for joining. I will be live. I think it will be the same time next week, but I'm not entirely sure if I'm on a plane because time is confusing. So I think it'll be Sunday next week, and then that will be the last Sunday live stream, I believe, for the period, and then we'll be switching to Tuesday night live streams. So a Yeti ate my sandwich says, I love your work outfits of the day. I hope to see some stuff from Japan soon. Yeah, I need to post all of my travel outfits from Japan. Because I've been acquiring clothes. I haven't even worn all the clothes I brought with me, and I've been here a week, which is a little ridiculous, but it's because I bought some clothes. I went to the secondhand Lolita store in Harajuku and acquired some stuff, and then I also, they were having a sale at Uniqlo, and I fit into Uniqlo clothes. So I'm hoping to post those. Lisa says, "Do your haircut is cute." I did buy some clothes though, Lisa. Thank you for asking. I will probably do a clothes haul in a different time. Maybe I'll just show pictures of it because it's hard to show the whole thing. But for me, being able to walk into a store and buy a jumpsuit and not have to get it altered is like next level for me. It is really nice being like standard size. Although my rib cage is a bit larger than standard Japanese sizing. So, but luckily the silhouettes are very blousy and kind of oversized in Japan. So I haven't had much of a problem with that. The thing that I keep remarking on in Japanese fashion is how petite so many people are, and they have these huge like trench coats and big silhouettes, and they don't look overwhelmed in them. And that's one thing I've really struggled with being able to do myself as a smaller person. It's hard to like wear big billowy shapes without looking like you're just like a ghost swimming in things. So I'm trying to take some style hints and figure out how I can master the big oversized shapes while not looking overwhelmed that I'm seeing from so many petite people. All right. Stay safe, you all. Stay hydrated. Pet a cat if you have one available, because I very much miss my cat. And I will see you all next week. Bye.